All right, it is new league time. My favorite thing to do is build builds. So the new skill, Frozen Legion, looks pretty interesting. It's a spell. It's an attack. It's AoE. It's melee. It has a cooldown. Now, I don't really try to build builds that are the best builds. I try to build builds that use synergistic properties. Now, what can synergize with Frozen Legion? Tectonic Slam consumes endurance charges. The Chieftain can use this slam, which is on a cooldown. So I'm thinking a Tectonic Slam, Frozen Legion, cold to fire convert, Chieftain is going to be pretty fucking cool. Now, I'll probably go this way because Tectonic Slams uses endurance charges and you get 15% more damage when you lose an endurance charge. So that's going to synergize with Tectonic Slam. This right here is going to synergize with Tectonic Slam. So it's going to be a 2-click style. You're going to Tectonic Slam, then you're going to Frozen Legion, then you're going to Tectonic Slam, then you're going to Frozen Legion. You're going to be triggering this. You're going to be triggering Frozen Legion. And you're probably going to use the Mace of Unpronounceable Maceness. Unique Maces, POE. Let us go to the better site, this one. The better site. Unique Mace of Unpronounceable Maceness. This right here. This mace is getting a buff. It has a ton of physical damage. We're going to have to overcome the accuracy negative here, but we can figure that out later. We could do that in post. So let's take a look. We've got our 2 skills here. Now, I don't know which one's going to be better. The 15% damage pin from here. We're not really going to be igniting, though we could do some ignites and do some pretty big ignites there. Or this one. I'm going to probably start this way because the every 10 seconds getting 100% of fizz, this extra fire seems pretty good. 50% of physical damage converted to fire seems pretty good. And then right here, we're going to be getting 10% more strength, cover and ash, and then fire leech. That seems pretty solid. Now, since we're going to be using a mace, we're going to be grabbing a lot of mace nodes. So let's travel through this way. Up here, good for the physical damage, which is going to be used in both Tectonic Slam and the other one. Let's take a look at those. Do I got them over here? No. Tectonic Slam. This is where I got it. So Frozen Legion. I'm pretty sure it's going to be using your weapon damage. That's all that's going to be doing the damage. Your weapon damage, and it's going to scale off attack and spells. Does not look that powerful, but if it summons 4, it's 4 of these, and each one hits for 170% of added damage, that's probably going to be pretty damn strong once it's off cooldown. So the trick is going to be using other things while this is on cooldown. Now you can do something like a brand or Blade Vortex, so you can cast the Blade Vortex to get your stacks up and then cast Frozen Legion. All that's great stuff. But for this one, I'm going to be trying a Tectonic Slam. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be starting this, I don't think. This is just a theory video. So that's what we got going on. So after that, we can then path down this way. Just get some all res. Go over here. Now, this mono reservation is going to be pretty good because we're going to be able to do Hatred pretty strong. And Herald of Fire is going to be pretty strong. All that physical damage shit is going to be quite strong. We're also going to be able to get Fortification from this node right here. More damage, free fortification, solid. Right here, fire penetration, very nice. Path up this way. Physical damage applies to spells. We could go here and get this physical damage as well because we're probably going to be stunning people, so we also get life regeneration. But for now, I think I'm going to hold off on that. I don't think we have enough points for that kind of a jazz. For that kind of jazz, we ain't got the points. No, I don't want to go that way. I want to go this way. Bum, ba, ba. Up here, get these bad boy mace nodes. get these bad boy mace nodes. A lot of really good mace nodes we're going to be able to get right here. So war cries, we can just put on the left click and be war crying to get our endurance charges. Path up in here. Grab it like that. Path over here. Grab it like so. Fully stacked out on endurance charges. Come up here for some mana reservation efficiency. Some life. These mace nodes here, pretty strong. We got 5% penetration here. We have 8% penetration here. And we can also use elemental overload. Now, elemental overload probably isn't going to be as good as precise technique, but precise technique takes more steps to get there. And we're going to have to pump up our accuracy super high. So we might be able to take these to pump up a little bit of that accuracy to offset the mace. But if we don't do that, we can use precision, and hopefully precision does enough. But you got a few options. So right now we're at level 91. A lot of different stuff we can do with these extra few points that we're going to have on there. You can choose what you want. I think this is going to be pretty rad. We're going to be slamming about. I've never once, I'm definitely going to build this at some point. Probably won't be my starter, but I'm going to try this out at some point. I've never once used this slam. I was reading it, and I have no clue how strong this is. Absolutely no clue. It uses the same slam as me with 50% more damage. That seems pretty strong. I have no clue if it is. It's got a 3-second duration. So on a double click system, you're going to be slamming, running, casting Frozen Legion. Now this probably isn't going to feel very good to play because of the super slow attack speed. So it's not going to be like the most enjoyable build. But I think this is going to have some pretty damn maximum synergy with Frozen Legion. And that would be my objective. Now there's multiple chess pieces we can use. We're Chieftains. We got that 10% strength. So getting up to use Blunderbore probably wouldn't be too difficult. This is a very strong chess piece. It's usually pretty pricey. I don't think it's because people sleep on it. I think it's just rather rare. But people sleep on it a little bit, but it's just so hard to use that not a lot of people use it. So I think everyone understands how powerful it is. It's just the cost to get it is so high. This is probably going to be the best. A Laurel Weave is also a pretty solid choice for this build because we're doing physical and we're doing elemental, and we need a little bit of crit to trigger whatever that fucking elemental overload. We need a little crit to trigger elemental overload. So we're able to use absolutely every aspect of Laurel Weave. So Laurel Weave might be pretty hot. And with Laurel Weave, we can then path out of these nodes here and maybe repath it differently. Maybe go up this way to save a few points, or go up this way. We can maybe get a little more efficiency if we don't have to get these 3 nodes here. But these 3 nodes are pretty good because you can also just get corrupted blood immunity, and it's always nice to have corrupted blood immunity on one of these instead of on one of the jewel for the cost benefit. Super cheap to grab it here. It's pretty expensive to get it on a jewel. But towards late game, you'll probably have a jewel with it on, so you won't really need this. You can path out of there pretty simply. And with the Laurel Weave, you're getting +3. Pretty solid. So Laurel Weave, also a pretty good option. Carcass Jack for AoE, Tectonic Slam, and I think Frozen Legion. Looking at it, Frozen Legion might be incredible with a lot of AoE. Those things might be overlapping like crazy, and you might be able to clear entire screens with it. So Carcass Jack might be a good option. And then obviously Iron Fortress. Iron Fortress is always, for me, for some reason, a very difficult chess piece to get. I don't know why. Every time I've tried to do an Iron Fortress build, it's just been super hard to get this chess piece. So that is what I'm thinking for Frozen Legion. That is like the main thing when I see Frozen Legion. This is what comes to mind. Now you could also come down this way like this and grab this here and do there for the 50% conversion. But I'm thinking on using the cold to fire ring and then cold to fire support on Frozen Legion, which is going to do most of the conversions there. And you can grab it however other way you want. And we're doing a 50% convert physical to fire here, but I have no clue how that works with Frozen Legion. Since Frozen Legion, wherever that, Frozen Legion is 100% physical to cold. So I don't know if I can steal some of this 100% physical to cold from the passives. There's an order to this kind of shit. And I don't remember if it's the passives that go first or if it's the skills that go first. I think it's the skills go first. So that skill is going to convert 100% of physical to cold. And I don't know if that 50% of physical to fire is going to stack on it. So it's going to be 150% convert. So you're only going to get about 25% of physical to fire. And then the 50% from there. And then the ring. I don't know exactly how that's going to work. That'll get ironed out as I build it. So that is the build. And if we got there, then we'd have to obviously make some other sacrifices because there's no way in hell I'm going to get a level 97 character. It's just not going to happen. I don't play characters that long. It seems pretty awesome. And it would be pretty good starter, I believe. Maybe not using Tectonic Slam, but I don't know. Maybe Tectonic Slam's a pretty good starter. But you got Ground Stomp or Ground Slam. You have Sunder. You have a lot of different skills you can do as a starter. So this might not be a terrible starter. And using 2 skills early on in the game is pretty strong, actually, because you usually don't have a 6-link. So using 2 4-links and alternating between the 2 and getting all that extra damage from the cooldowns. These skills, the way they're designed, usually when a skill has a cooldown, it does a bucket of damage up front. And then you wait for that cooldown and it does a bucket of damage. So if you got 2 buckets of damage, it could be pretty synergistic. And, I think it's definitely worth a shot. And I will be building this build. It's kind of a spoiler. I typically would just build it and then make the video and then do the demo. But obviously I don't have access to Frozen Legion. And I am so excited for this league that I just want to... I'm just been spending my time TheoryCrafting, spending my time looking at this shit. I can't wait until they release the gems to see what kind of gems they got. Super excited about a lot of the nerfs. Super excited about the league. Slay the Spire is one of my all-time favorite games. I typically don't like roguelikes, but there's something about Slay the Spire that's excellent, and I feel a lot of Slay the Spire in the league mechanic. Obviously, they have to nail how it works and make it feel good. I'm highly skeptical on whether they'll nail it, but I love the direction. I love the idea that they're coming with. So Path of Exile is all about experimental ideas. That's what separates it from something like Diablo 2. That and its depth. Not Diablo 2, Diablo 3. Diablo 3 is getting a little more creative as it's like in its dying phase towards the end. I haven't played in a couple of years, but I know they're doing a lot of really cool stuff with Diablo 3 each league, or season they call them. But the creativity of Path of Exile is where it's at. And I like the creativity of the new league mechanic. It looks really good. This is it. I will talk to you guys at a later date.